Welcome, everybody, to That's Weird Stuff, the show where I share strange and bizarre stories, and these guys answer the question aliens or not. This time, we're going to ask that question. Over the last month, we have discussed a few cases of potential alien contact from a UFO whistleblower, a sighting in Vegas, the case of Oumuamua, and strange readings from the center of the galaxies. We've highlighted the question of extraterrestrial life. So, in this episode, why don't we ask the question of questions, aliens or not? But we are not the first to ask this question, and there's no better example of the question than a discussion between four scientists at Los Alamos National Laboratory, New Mexico, soon to be seen in the movie Oppenheimer. A location that they've actually checked my ID at. um, in 1950, Enrico Fermi and his colleagues were having lunch and discussing recent UFO sightings and faster than light travel when Fermi stated the obvious: where is everybody? Fermi cited calculations of the great probability of Earth-like planets, those planets having life, having intelligent life, and developing advanced technology. The discrepancy between the probability of advanced intelligent life existing in the universe and the lack of evidence in contact from any forms of life has become known as the Fermi paradox. To further exacerbate the discrepancy came the Drake equation. Formulated by Frank Drake in 1961, the Drake equation multiplies the probability of stars with life-sustaining planets in the galaxy, the fraction that those planets having life on the planet being able to develop long-sustaining, highly intelligent life, able to send detectable signals throughout space. Original estimates concluded that 100 million planets could sustain life, and current estimates are around 15 million planets should be able to sustain that highly intelligent life. Aside from life being rare or exclusive to Earth, and life just being too far away to observe, some of the most interesting solutions to the Fermi paradox include the dark forest hypothesis, the zoo hypothesis, the berserker hypothesis, and the planetarium hypothesis. So, guys, with that information in your heads now, aliens or not, what do you think about the Fermi paradox, Michael?
Oh, I mean, in my thing, I've always had the idea of of stutter. That's all I think is stutter. It's just how can there not be? Is just like my thing. But it's also the fun idea of I don't know. I don't even know in this one. This is a weird one. It's too big. We haven't gone anywhere. There's probably a lot of other things that haven't gone anywhere. Like that it just hurts your brain when you think about it, how big space is. I don't like it. I love it, but I don't like it. It upsets me. But I wish we lived in a time where we could go around it all. Whenever
You just
that
want to
time
be
is.
in Mass Effect.
I just want to be. I want to be zooping around.
Thomas, what are your instincts on the Fermi paradox?
I don't know if it's aliens or if it's a natural occurring thing in space, because a lot of natural things occur in space that we can't explain and that seem like scary. Like black holes, for one. Like that's like some of the scariest crap you've ever if you research black holes, and I've gone down that black hole, like just like in the research process, like after a while you're just like, we're just eventually going to get swallowed up by this or one of these, because like they're big enough that they can take forever, they last forever. And so I don't know, man. Like if it is aliens, then they're like playing like 4D chess with the universe here. So you know what? Screw it. We're gonna go with aliens. I'm gonna go with aliens on this one. Just to give just to give some hope, and I say hope, but dread. But you know what I mean.
Aliens everywhere.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to shock everyone and say not.
Okay. I thought you were going to say vampires.
So there's actually a movie about space vampires, Michael. It's like in the 80s or something.
No,
so you
dang.
should check that out sometime.
Ahead of their time.
It's called Life Force. It's actually
Yeah.
a pretty good movie.
So the reason the Fermi paradox to me always made a lot of sense, because if there are so many planets that can sustain life, where the heck is everyone? Why haven't we heard anything? I mean, even like while we were developing as humans, we should have had contact if it's so widespread out there.
That's kind of what I'm like. If they have the ability to make contact, maybe they're doing it, or maybe they're not doing it on purpose. Like,
yeah. See, so I mentioned the dark forest hypothesis, which like comes from a book series, the Third Body Problem, and it's going to be actually a Netflix series pretty soon.
It's a good series.
It's an interesting idea, but I think it's a little too cute. Like I just look at like how stuff works on Earth and how bad we're at keeping secrets and like cooperating nation to nation. So I just believe it'd be more like Star Trek, where you would have some that are evil, or not evil, but are preemptively taking out planets just so they don't get taken over. But then you would have like the Vulcans who are like looking to make first contact and stuff like that. I think there'd be a lot more variety than what the Dark Forest suggests. So basically, for anyone that doesn't know, the Dark Forest is just the idea that worlds keep each other, or not each other, but worlds keep quiet, because as soon as an advanced world transmit that they are advanced, all the other like worlds come and like take over and they destroy them, basically, so they don't wipe. It's basically survival of the fittest.
Because once you say that you're a contender, then they try to take you out.
Mm-hmm.
But what if we're the first ones?
Well, there's a thought.
What if all the other ones are just a little behind us and we're gonna be the first ones to branch out?
That's sad if we're more advanced.
To me, what's the most interesting, and I don't know if it's ever been like explored in fiction or anything, is the idea that we are just like just this lone happening that happened in the galaxy or the universe. That would be so like existentially, like they'll just kill everyone's like dreams and stuff like that. I'd like to see that explored, because talk about existential dread. If that happened, people would be like going crazy.
That Ad Astra had a really good premise for that, and I really liked that one, where this guy was so desperate to make contact with like the universe, but it's probably it's probably more than likely that we're alone, or it's so beyond our capability that we'll never see them.
Yeah, I think that's the second best option, is just everything is just way too separated and far out that we just don't have the capability of getting that close to each other.
Yeah,
that's kind of depressing too. That might be even more depressing than we're alone, because it's like they're right there, but we can't get to them. But yeah, and then we have the one theory I really don't like is the zoo theory, that other intelligent life is like they cordon us off into our little corner just because they think that we're not ready for contact and stuff like that. That I find very far-fetched. I mean,
I like the Douglas Adams one, that Earth is the mentally handicapped exiles of the universe. Like, we took all the useless people and we put them in one place. It's like, oh, thanks, appreciate it.
Yeah, so for me, that's just like, again, why would these be cooperating like that so well? I mean, look at like China. As soon as China makes something great, they're out there like broadcasting and they're like, look what we got and stuff like that. I mean, America does that too.
Then it falls apart in the Sea of Japan.
Yeah, America does that too. We should. I mean, we're not excluding us. As soon as we got to the moon, we planted an American flag. So it's like,
yeah, we did.
we like bragging rights. Countries like bragging rights. So I don't know why space would be any different than us. So that the Fermi paradox for me in my head is just something that's too hard to get around, especially considering the probabilities and stuff like that. So that's just my opinion. I think interdimensional stuff is more interesting, more like maybe that's how things make contact.
That's the thing about all these theories is that it without some kind of development, they can never be proven, like ever.
Yeah.
Like space travel, it's the concept of space travel is there. We have the ability to go into space. We just have no ability to explore space. We are so dependent on the resources that we have here, and just the life support that we have here. We can't even make a permanent base on the moon right now. I mean, I know we're like thinking about that, but
yeah, it's kind of weird that we never did.
Yeah, well, one thing wrong, and then you have a absolute disaster. Like one thing can lead to a massive implosion. Even just like a small fire can do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, we'll get to the moon eventually on this show. But that's gonna do it for this episode. Unless you guys got any more thoughts on the Fermi paradox.
Nope.
Like, subscribe, and notify yourself for even more good stuff. And we will catch you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Okay.